$12 million a month profit taking only one trade. Most people are naive, or I would say rather stupid. They don't really want to listen the real individual investors that are on the market that are like themselves, like me, right? They're rather gonna go and listen Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, the BlackRocks of the world, thinking that they're actually getting some alpha, some insider information or knowledge about the market. Well, you're kind of wrong. You kind of remind me of the women who fall under the same situation, believing the bad boys in the world of dating, and they're having super bad experience, being lied to, cheat on, or single mother left to the rest of their lives. This is how you're gonna end up losing all your money, following all the news finance channels, all the big boys on Wall Street. They really have no interest explaining to you how the market works. And if you look, since the Wall Street enters each and every money making scheme is no longer working. People who trade crypto before Coinbase establishment, before Bitcoin ETF, before Ethereum ETF, before the government reserves, before this, before that, crypto market was very, very fun. Anyone could, make money trading whatever they want, because it was between individual investors. The market was kind of fair. Sure, you could always be someone with substantial technological advancements. People were building some bots, some trading, alternative trading systems, but still was relatively easy. Now we have money marketing firms, Wall Street, are money making the actual crypto transactions. Same thing happened with the stock market for many, many years. All the orders are effectively executed off the market, which is not making the market more fair. You need to understand the market is structured and definitely organized against you. Why? Even if you don't want to do that, let's say you have your 9 to 5 work, let's say you have 401k. Your 401k, your retirement investments are strictly forced to buy into either Fidelity, BlackRock, all the ETFs, whatever. So retirement funds are forced to invest your money into very particular investment baskets, very particular asset classes. This is the same scenario what happened with the IPO of SpaceX. $1 trillion IPO, there is no $1 trillion on the market, new money to buy into this IPO. So what they're going to do, they forced a lot of retirement funds to actually buy into, get a chunk out of this IPO on the open market, so they will be able to essentially sell the shares. You to understand that the structure is something that cannot be changed, right? But if you follow your own investment ideas, you kind of put on the side, you kind of protecting yourself, you kind of building your own, individual, semi-independent trading mechanisms. Because if you're not hopping on the trend, you're not actually trying to become, target for Wall Street. But like I said, most people are simply so naive. They think that Wall Street is going to give them the answers. Wall Street is taking care of the price action. They always think that when you try to sell, there's always going to be someone on the market to buy whatever you hold, or vice versa, which is not the case. Remember, if you get rich, you most likely won't be a client of Wall Street anymore. If you get rich, you most likely won't be able to contribute to the volumes. You're not going to be buying and selling. You're not going to be paying fees for management. If you're smart enough, you're not going to be using any asset manager. You're not going to be using any wealth manager. Most likely, you're not going to be looking of the terms and conditions of all of these hedge funds were kept locking up funds. They put new terms and conditions updates. We suspend withdrawals. The market is going bust, but you cannot withdraw your funds. Otherwise, you're gonna get fined 3%, 5%, 10%. Right? You need to understand the very, 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 very rich people. They don't need all these smart guys to tell them what to do with their money. Right? This is very unusual. How some of the people are still, kind of fall into the same trap. Because if you made some money on the market, you know what to buy. You know how to hedge your market position. You know how to escape the volatility. You know how to effectively, break down the position either on the buy or sell side to not move the markets. You know how to utilize the derivative market to hedge your original stock position, the equity position. Right? You know all these things. You don't have to run financial models. You don't have to, run simulation to see which one works and which doesn't. Start surrounding yourself with people like yourself. Don't surround yourself with people that are not like yourself. Don't surround yourself with people who are effectively distributing wealth, managing wealth, or people who are using complete different scale of investment portfolio, right? Just surround yourself with people like yourself. Use your own logic. Anyone now has AI, anyone can run different models, anyone can run different data. You have data points that are unique. You might pick the last 6 years of S&P 500, add the last 3 years of Nasdaq, last 2 years of Dow Jones, and then you can add some of the technology indices from Asia, and then you can summarize and look which particular indices are kind of linked. Is there a cyclical moves that you can actually predict? Because today, as you can see, we have meta stock down, we have crypto stocks down, we have S&P 500 up, we have VIX down, we have oil prices down, we have gold up, we have silver down. Snow freaking correlation, which prior, if you take all the same example tickers I just gave you, you will see a very fine line between the prices of each one, kind of interconnected, moving up or down based on the opposite signals. But now nothing works like that. So everyone can build its own model that helps him to identify potential underpriced assets, overvalued assets. The other day I was running a model shorting $100 million worth of Bitcoin with 1000x leverage of 100k position original, put it as a collateral. And I took an average of how many percentage every single month Bitcoin has seen decline since January. On average, Bitcoin has seen a decline of 12%. So this 1000% X leverage de facto will give you around $12 million a month profit, taking only one trade. So now you will be sitting where end of June, we'll be seeing over $70 million in profits trading Bitcoin alone. You don't have to look at the markets, AI nonsense, overhype Max 7. No. Focus on one thing, run one model, and keep updating the data points. Right? I used complete different data points from the Bitcoin ETFs, inflows, outflows. I use complete different data points from my personal trading history, the position sizing, the collateral ratio between the actual fees that are associated with the borrowing. If you borrow on 50x, on 100x, on 500x, on 1000x, you have different fees, you have different risk measurement. So when you have unique data points, you're capable to have unique results. No one, I guarantee you, no one had this particular strategy short in Bitcoin, $100 million positions since January. No one had made $70 million with only $100,000 original investment put up as a collateral in utilizing the 1000x leverage. Remember, being unique is your own leverage that cannot be taken, cannot be replicated. Let me tell you about one of the biggest bullshit that people are trying to force you to believe in, that you should be grateful for what you have right now. And I don't agree with Andrew Tate that life is not about happiness. Life is 100% about happiness. Who otherwise want to live, right? Who wants to have struggle or fight every single day? Life, it's about happiness. So if you have what you got, and if you're not happy with what you got, life is not happy. So it's make no sense, zero sense to be grateful for what you got. And understand the contrast, understand the perspective of some people, being grateful in a sense of, it could be worse. Yes, you could be grateful in this particular angle. But the actual vector, attack vector will be, am I really happy with where I am, right? You might be born in some oil shake family. You might have, 2.5 miles of Lamborghinis parked in the garage. You might have a driver. You might have a 17 different, harem women's ready to please you in a way. You might have security. You might everything that you could dream of be around the corner. But if you're not happy with that kind of lifestyle, who cares? How you can be grateful for something that doesn't make you happy? If you're happy with this life, perfect. You hit the jackpot. So the main concept in life is that you should only be grateful for things that makes you happy. I understand that you can always look back and say, okay, look at my life. My life it's not bad. It's not so bad. It's not crazy bad. Every day I meet people with worse life than mine. I meet people who have different problems. Sometimes these problems are not coming directly from their decisions. It's just fate or destiny or bad luck. I understand that. So sure, you can only make the concept of being grateful for what you got if you compare yourself with the worst case scenario, right? Something that is, very, very bad. But speaking generally, people could only, really be happy or really be grateful when they have something that they really want to have. Let's say you always wanted to be a pilot, but you end up being homeless, or something like this. This you cannot really be grateful for something that doesn't really add up to your original goal, dream, you know, fulfillment in life. So people, try to force you to be grateful for something that you got that you don't really want to have. And this is very important. I genuinely believe this. I genuinely believe that you should be happy. You should only do things that makes you happy. I don't agree with Andrew Tate that life it's not about happiness. Life is 100% about happiness. Life is 100% about having a good life. Life is not about conquest. If we go back in time where Alexander the Great was living, if there was Wi-Fi, if there was internet, if there was iPhone back in the days, he 100% be scrolling through the different dating sites and catching up with different bimbo every single day. He's not gonna be Alexander the Great. It's not gonna be the conquest goals and targets. There were nothing else to be done during these years, right? What you gonna do? You're gonna learn horse riding. You're gonna learn sword fighting. You're gonna learn, what what else you could possibly doing? Smashing rocks, making swords on the back, or throwing, harpoons, whatever, right? It's very limited things to be done or to be doing, to be learning, or to be improving your own life. So the truth of the matter over here is that you should only be grateful for things that really make you happy, because life makes you happy, and all the hustle culture will find out the hard way in the long run how miserable they feel in their life is because they have done or spent most of their time doing stuff that they don't want to do, achieving results or goals that they don't really apply to their original happy life, dream life scenario, and in the end they all end up in the same scenario. How many people left big cities, Wall Street career, law firms, universities, dropouts, etc., on paper perfect life, to do something weird, going on some middle of nowhere village and starting a farm? Everyone up in arms, but why? Because these people weren't happy, and you cannot really be grateful even if your parents are rich and send you to private school, and if your parents send you and fund all of your Ivy League school graduation and all the work, and they help you find internship on Wall Street, and you work and you do inside trading, make hundreds of millions of dollars, have a nice family, 3, 6 vacation homes, yachts, whatever. If this was not your original goal and happy life, dream life scenario, well, you cannot really be grateful. You can just say in front of other people, yeah, I do, right? It's not. Wow, when you meet people who are really happy and really live life they always dream about, they're like, "How are you doing?" Doing great, man. Life, it's good. Life, you can feel the difference. This is why everyone should aim for one thing and one thing only: 100% happiness. Happiness in personal, happiness in professional life. This is what really makes or breaks your life completely. I'm not exaggerating. This is super duper important. And everyone who claims the opposite either haven't figured it out, or probably don't make sense for them to go back because they can't go back. I'm telling you this 100% originally. On paper, a lot of people's life look amazing. A lot of people's could be and should be grateful because they're coming from in the middle of nowhere. They end up living in the center of the world. They get a good job. They on paper they get good paid. They can afford 1 2 vacations per year. They have a good family. Everything looks pretty arranged, pretty straightforward, pretty very usual development in life or progress in life. But at the end of the day, if you ask these people, are you happy? Go on the street, meet people who look perfect, who looks like they're having amazing polished life, perfect life. Ask them, are you really happy? Because, like I said, it's all about happiness, fulfillment, and get where you want to go. Life feels much more fun when you have to wake up in the morning, and before you even make your coffee, you want to see how your work is doing because you've done something you really like, you're passionate about. You have, you can't wait to meet your friends after work because you really enjoy the people that you surround yourself with. All these small elements of 100% fulfillment and satisfaction gives you very different, I would say, affections of life. You want to live longer. You wanna be more productive. You wanna do more, and you wanna do all this without the need of motivation. You don't. You see, when you're happy, you don't need motivation. You don't need books. Have you met somebody who is super happy about his life and reading at the same time self-help books? No, they don't go to seminars. They don't go to self. They don't need actually to go and meet the groups with people, make friends or relationship or dating coaches. All this nonsense. Why? Because they figured it out that the one key to every single success in life is happiness. And if this is not achieved, just look at everything else falling apart around people who haven't achieved the happiness. Everything else because they're not happy. Business is falling apart, relationship, friendship, betrayals left and right, wrong people surround yourself with. It almost looks like that because you didn't achieve happiness, everything comes down. And when you flip the coin, you see the happiest people always have good life, always have nice people around them. Hardly look historically nice people historically who were surrounded by bad people or who had a very bad relationship with people around them or had a very negative experience in the professional life, right? No, it was not the case. They were always happy, always was something going on. They really enjoyed every single day. Life goes much better and smoothly when you achieve happiness. This is the thing that you could be grateful for.